Dr. Kathryn Moseley. She is Assistant Professor of Pediatrics Emerita at the University of Michigan. She received her undergraduate degree from Harvard University and her MD and MPH degrees from the University of Michigan. She is a board-certified pediatrician and neonatologist. Dr. Moseley is also a lifetime professed lay Dominican. She studied Catholic healthcare ethics at the Center for Healthcare Ethics at St. Louis University and secular medical ethics at the University of Chicago. She served as the first system ethicist for the Henry Ford Health System before joining the University of Michigan, where she was a member of the research faculty of the Child Health Evaluation and Research Center, the Center for Bioethics and Social Sciences in Medicine, and the co-chair of the Pediatric Ethics Committee of Mott Children's Hospital. Dr. Moseley is a past chair of council on ethical and judicial affairs of the American Medical Association and served on the national ethics committees for the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American Board of Pediatrics. And you're going to start us off after all that.
First off, I want to start with a very quick word about abortionists. Let us always pray for them and not hate on them, as tempting as that is. But they've deluded themselves in order to delude us and the women they think they serve. And the reason I say that is because I know an abortionist who was somewhat famous locally. Some of you may know the name of Dr. Lisa Harris. She's the abortionist at the Planned Parenthood Center in Ann Arbor, plus she is, I think by now, a full professor of obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Michigan. And until I retired in 2016, she was my colleague in the Center for Bioethics, and we'll let that irony just sort of lay there. So during one of our bioethics meetings, she told us, so this is not hidden information, this is not anything that she told me in confidence, she told all of us a story about an essay she wrote about her first pregnancy. When she was pregnant with her first child, she hadn't felt the baby move yet. She was somewhere between 15 and 18 weeks, and she was doing her job at Planned Parenthood. And she put the clamp in, and these are dismemberment abortions. So she was doing one on a baby the same gestational age as she was pregnant. She put the clamp in, grabbed an extremity, and yanked. And as she yanked, her own child kicked her, and hard. And she burst into tears. However, she tells us, she says, I realized this was just pregnancy hormones, so I kept going. So she kept dismembering one baby while her other own baby was kicking her, and she's crying her eyes out. I can't imagine what that woman thought. Next story, again, she tells us, this is her research, because U of M is full of research, in case you didn't know, but she did a survey of other abortionists, and you must know that only about 10 or 15%, if that, of the obstetricians do abortions. Well, she did a survey to ask them their opinions, especially on what they thought of us, the pro-life people, and what we said. And the majority of them, and don't ask me for percentages because I was sort of shocked, so I sort of lost the numbers in that, but the majority of them thought that what we said was absolutely correct, that the pictures of the dismembered babies were absolutely on target and were right, but they weren't going to say anything about that because they were afraid if women knew the truth, they'd stop having abortions. Wow. All right, let's hop into fetal development. First slide. All right, where are we? So you all should know, and I hope you can see the slides somewhere, that our Blessed Virgin Mary had an unplanned pregnancy herself. Not unwed, but unplanned. God may have known from the beginning of time, but she was like, what? So, and remember, Jesus was a former embryo and fetus. He did not appear fully formed at 9 months when when she said yes, and just hang around in Mary's womb for 9 months. So he went through development, just like everyone sitting here did. So these are the current state abortion limits, and obviously they've probably changed by the time I printed up this slide. So Texas has a heartbeat law at 5 to 6 weeks. 15 weeks is the Dobbs proposed law. 20 weeks, which is 5 months of pregnancy, other states use. Viability is somewhere between 23 and 24 weeks, which is 6 months pregnancy. And viability, technically, is what Michigan uses to stop abortion, unless, and remember, this is a big unless, unless large enough for an elephant to get through, the life or the health of the mother could be jeopardized. If that's the truth, abortion can be allowed until birth, and the 3rd trimester and into the 3rd trimester, which is weeks 27 till 40, or if you go post dates, 41 or 42, which nobody likes. All right, if you can look around, fertilization. That is the moment when a brand new, unique human being comes into existence. Their DNA is different from their mom, from their dad, from any other human being who has ever existed. A computer program, I call it a computer program, begins to run. I don't know how many of you have ever installed a program, not an app, on your computer and watched all of the thing. It's going into this, it's turning into this, now this is being done. That's, in such a bigger way, is happening. The second fertilization happens. Everything goes. Next one. At 5 weeks, we have the heart beating. Now, you may look at that and go like, oh, crap, that doesn't look human at all. But you are actually looking at your own baby picture. You're looking at Monsignor Todd's baby picture. You're looking at mine. We all look like this at 5 weeks. This is what a human being looks like at 5 weeks after fertilization. The heart's beating. That big prominent yolk sac is making red blood cells and liver and everything that you need. The brain and the spinal cord are beginning to form. That little computer program is just going to town, doing everything to make who you are right now. It does not stop. And really, if you're a pregnant woman, all you have to do is eat and walk around. And this all happens without you even knowing it. It is a miracle. Next one, we get to 10 weeks. Did I skip something?
I got it.
You got it. All right, at 10 weeks, let me get my little notes here. Let me go back one. Back.
That one.
There we go, sorry. 10 weeks, we are a fetus. And don't get hung up on fetus, embryo, whatever. Those are just developmental stages, the way we talk about babies and toddlers and tweens and teenagers. Those are just names for developmental stages. It doesn't mean anything more human, less human. But at 10 weeks, we got little fingernails, we got little toenails. The kidneys are producing urine. Most importantly, the abortion pill can be taken up to 10 weeks. So imagine flushing this down your toilet, flushing this little boy or girl. And this is an ultrasound of the cute little toes that you see at 10 weeks. Oops, going backwards here. Definitely going backwards. What do you have next? Okay. Okay, week 12, 3 months, is the end of the first trimester. Oops. You see, you got that one too? Okay.
What do you have?
Yep, now.
Week 14?
No, I got week 16.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, we have to coordinate here. I can't see the slides that you see. And I'm following along here. just as an FYI, doctors don't do anything without slides, and we read our slides. So without our slides, we're like, I can't function. So week 16, 4 months old. Baby's younger than that. 15 weeks is where the Dobbs case wanted to stop. So think about this. This little boy or little girl could be killed. It's not a piece of tissue. It's not a product. I mean, technically, yes, it's a product of conception. We are all products of conception. The person sitting next to you is a product of conception. But in the second trimester, this little boy or girl is practicing sucking, practicing for the time when he's going to get that bottle or that mom's breast, developing a hair pattern. This is where mom might actually feel him or her kicking her, like my colleague, the abortionist, did. 22? All right, at 22 weeks, we have an unborn baby who is about 10 inches long. They can feel pain. They can start turning around. They can start doing somersaults and flips in the uterus, which mom recognizes and goes, oh, this is not fun. So women, if that's ever happened to you, you're going like, what the heck is going on here? So then some states will still allow abortions up to 22 weeks. Okay? This little person, this little unborn person, and I have to say, there is and I wish I could remember the name of this book, the science fiction book, but they didn't talk about unborn babies for the pregnant women. They talked about the child within. And I just love that term, because there's only about that much skin separating you from the outside to that little child within you. So, and this is a 23-week 3D ultrasound. However, life or health of the mother, because this is technically viability, can still permit this little one to be born, to be killed. 24 weeks, baby is about 1 pound, moving around, and just as an FYI, our very own associate pastor, Father Anthony, was born at 24 weeks. I don't know where he is. Wave your hand, Father Anthony. That's what a grown-up 24-weeker looks like. Amazing. You just never know. You just never know. So at 25 weeks, we have the end of the second trimester. At 27 weeks, the beginning of the third trimester, the eyes are open. They can see light that comes through the abdomen. They respond to light. They respond to sounds. They know their parents' voices. There was actually one study where moms liked to watch, I think it was Days of Our Lives. And so when the babies were born, they turned on that theme song, and all of a sudden the babies who moms watched that quieted down. They know. They know. So in the third trimester, we get 28 weeks. This is 36 weeks. We're almost there. We're 8 months out. And now we're ready to be born. And here we back up. Don't do that. Here we are, totally born, hanging out in the nursery, but we are not really safe because unknown at this point, this little baby boy had a serious heart defect that would require 2 open heart surgeries in his first year of life and multiple surgeries throughout his life. And had his mother known that, even the day before this picture was taken, she could have said, whoa, this is too much stress, kill him. And it could have been done. But if she had done that, go ahead to the next one, they would have missed this. That's his graduation with his PhD and his wife with her master's. So we would have missed that. So these are the things that can happen. And this is the end of my talk, so if you have questions, save them